Hey there, it's Naomi Karth, your Young Living leader, and today I'm going to be talking about using PV Assist, which is a super important thing to know about if you are a leader. My oil of the day, of the week, would be White Fir. This was an oil that came with my Aroma Complete for winning Silver and Six, and which we still just love you guys so much for helping us reach the goal of silver and getting that awesome kit. We love sharing it with you when we can. The White Fir is actually an oil that you can't actually purchase through Young Living right now. It was an exclusive oil that they offered just as a bonus oil 1 month last year, I believe. And it's a supplemental oil. It's good for hormone support for men, and it's also known as an earthy grounding oil too. It's pretty neat. I love that we got some of these like unique oils that you can't even purchase in our kits. Pretty neat. So today I'm going to talk about PV Assist, and the main reason would be that in the past couple of weeks I've had to call leadership several times to help people get their ER orders straightened out because they either didn't go through it all or they went through below the PV that the minimum that they wanted. And each time I called in, they were asking me about PV Assist, if the member knew about it, and if they were using it. And to be honest, I set PV Assist up like the first month they offered it, and I haven't touched it since. Though today I did go in and make sure I actually had product in there, and I added some new things that I wanted on there, just in case. And so I had to tell them, like, maybe I didn't share that with everyone. So I want to talk about it a little bit, explain what it is, how to set it up, and why it's so important. So first of all, PV Assist is a program that they have through the ER module where you can set a minimum PV for your order, and you can add products, and if anything falls off your order, they will substitute a product from your list if it's in stock. And what they do is they pick the product with the PV closest to what fell off your order. So if you had nitro on your order and it fell off, they would look for a product that was close to the same PV as nitro, and they would add that. So it's super handy, just easy to set up too. So I'm just going to go through that. All you do is you go into Essential Rewards in New Virtual Office, and there's a module where it gives you a summary of your ER order. It gives you a chance to add product to your ER order, and underneath that it will say PV Assist. So you click on that. You're going to sign yourself up, and all you're going to do is you're going to set a PV amount. So if you like your PV to be $50 or 50 PV when your ER order goes through, when we say PV, that stands for product value. Many of the oils have the same product value as dollar amount. Like peppermint, for example, peppermint has the same price as it does PV value. And so when we say a minimum of 50 PV, that doesn't actually always translate into dollars. Things like diffusers sometimes have a half PV. There are products that Young Living isn't actually making out in their fields, and those they tend to not have a full PV on. And then there's some very expensive oils where they just simply can't put a full PV on them because they're already at a pretty deep discount when you count how much product goes in, or a material goes into making that product. So you go in and you have to set a PV amount. So 50 if you want your minimum at 50. If you always will place a 100 PV order to make sure you're getting your commission, you can put 100 in there. Mine actually is set at 300 because we always want to get the bonus items that Young Living's awesome offering. And if you missed it, this month, 300 PV order in October gets you a free home diffuser. Like, boom, they're giving you an $80 diffuser. They're just sending it in your order. How awesome is that? I mean, that's phenomenal. You also get ER points. You get a free bottle of Thieves, 15 ml if you're on ER. And they're also throwing in a clove, 5 ml. So it's an awesome way to get ready for winter. So so we always set the 300 minimum, and then the important thing to do is that after you've set your minimum, you need to go in and you actually need to add product. I had a girl who we adore, if she's listening to this, she actually had PV set up for a minimum PV but she hadn't added any products, so they couldn't utilize it because she hadn't put any products in there. So you need to go in and you need to add products, and one of the best things to do is to add products that are varying in PV. So like I have everything from cedarwood, which is like 1125 PV, up to some larger items that have a kit on there that's got a 70 PV. That way if something like Ninja Red falls off, I've got things in there that can be added to boost my PV up. So you need to go in and set up your minimum amount, and you need to go and add a product to it and save it. Best thing to do, I always recommend people do this, and for ER as well, is after you've saved your order, go back in and look at it and make sure that it actually saved. It's a great precaution to make sure that you don't end up like with last month's order. So that's my tip. The reason this is so important is that they're shipping super fast right now, which is awesome. I love that they're getting ER out the door. But I'm having people whose ER order is below the minimum, and I'm calling leadership as soon as they open, and it's already too late. Their box is already packed. So in some cases, they've actually had to pay extra shipping to make sure that their ER order ended up over the 50. And so that way they didn't take their skip month, or in some cases get their commission check missed. So that's the important reason behind that, is that it may cost you more in shipping. It actually just saves them from having to go into the system and from me having to make a call. Not that I don't love calling leadership on your guys' behalf. It's a super awesome perk of being a silver. But they put PV there, PV assist there for a reason. So let's utilize it, guys. You get on it, call, let your people know about it if they're on ER. And if when you're talking to people about joining ER, just explain to them what PV assist is and explain that they need to have that ready too. Especially if they are commonly ordering things that tend to go in and out of stock. Like if they love peace and calming, they know that it's not always going to be there, in which case they do need to have a backup plan, because that might fall off their order. I know Ninja Red was one that fell off, and Stress Away fell off some orders this month just because it's going in and out of stock with supply demands. So that's my business tip for this week. Let's get on that and share that with people. And thanks for tuning in.